one of the most prolific and talented voice actors in the industry. You know him as Marcus Phoenix, Dr. Dre, Schnitzel, Jake the Dog, and Bender. Please give a fan fusion welcome to Mr. John DiMaggio.
Goodness, it's so wonderful to be back at a convention and doing stuff. For crying out loud.
Well, we are thrilled to have you here because I knew this room was going to be full. It's you.
That's crazy. Oh, you know, sometimes it's 12 people, and you're like, oh great, it's a full room of people. All sorts of. I see a Zoidberg. I see a Zoidberg. Why not Zoidberg? I love it. Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm going to get started with a question. There is a line right here. Feel free at any point you guys want to start lining up. Just keep it low for people in the back. Here's the thing. We always do research and watch live videos and that kind of stuff.
R&D.
I love it.
R&D.
But one of the things I loved, you talked about how Bender's voice was developed. How you came that it was a combination of some people.
The voice is a combination of three things. The first thing is any drunk on the northeastern seaboard at a dive bar. Everybody just, what? I kick your ass. You Slim Pickens from Blazing Saddles and a bunch of other movies. What's that Stanley Kubrick film? Thank you yes, exactly. Dr. Strangelove, and he's been in tons of westerns. But what in the hell in the wide world of sports is going on? And then a friend of mine from college named Ralph Colomino, he runs a children's theater company that actually develops wonderful young actors that have gone on to work on a bunch of stuff. He used to do in college this guy called Charlie the Sausage Lover. Hold on. I like to eat them. And Charlie the Sausage Lover. Sausages, fun hat, fun hold, fun eat. You can have all kinds of sausages. Italian sausage, Italian sweet sausage, Italian hot sausage, German sausage. Look at the poor sign language. I'm very sorry. But that was, sausage, fun. Lots of fun sausages. And so you combine those three in a blender, and you get Bender. That's Bender.
That is awesome. All right, let's start with our first question in our line. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Just want to comment. You've been with me throughout my whole childhood, from Schnitzel to
Rock.
So my question is, if you can eat whatever Jake has made, what is it and why?
Oof. Man. I mean, the everything burrito is kind of heavy duty. That's after a lot of legally purchased, greenery. You need an everything burrito. But I mean, simply put, bacon pancakes are pretty on point. You can't go wrong with some bacon pancakes. I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So bacon pancakes would be definitely the food that I would eat.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. All right.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
It's so great to have you here, and again, thank you for coming. I know we expected you for like 2+ years. Again, thank you for coming still.
Absolutely.
I grew up with like all your characters, Jake, Futurama. Me and my brother bonded over watching Futurama. So one thing I wanted to ask you is, wow, what was your favorite episode making, or which one you loved the most? Because mine is like Luck of the Fry-ish.
There's a whole bunch. I can't name like my exact favorite, but there's a whole bunch that are my favorites. All the anthology of interests are pretty awesome.
Those are great.
Futurama in anime is really ridiculous. Especially Zoidberg and his pose in that the moment he's just standing there. Oh, look at him! And Dave Herman, who voices Scruffy, did the voice of the professor in that particular episode, and it was just so ridiculous. I loved it. Luck of the Fry-ish, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is 22 minutes of hilarious comedy and then a minute of gut wrenching.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me recently that my own dog looks like Seymour. She totally looks like Seymour. Like I posted pictures on like Instagram and stuff like that, and people were like, "Dude, you have Seymour." She looks just like him. That one. And Mars University is pretty great. Robot House! That just kills me every time. The Cheez-It is said many times, I think, in that episode as well. They're all great. They're all fantastic. But those are amongst my top ones.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited for the new episodes coming out.
Yeah, new episodes coming out. We're already in the studio recording them, so we're doing it. So we're Futurama. That show has died and come back so many times. It's now zombie Futurama. It's just we're gonna come out in the first episode. Everybody's just gonna. So it's exciting. Hey, how you doing?
Hello, doing great.
All right.
You were on one of my favorite shows of all time. It was a short, underrated series called Dan Versus.
Dan Versus. Wow, dude. Wow, that's a deep track right there, buddy. You're whipping it out, man. That was the guy who played Dan in that was Booger in Revenge of the Nerds. What's my man's name?
Curtis Armstrong.
Curtis Armstrong, exactly. He was Dan, yeah, exactly. So what's your question?
My question is, you played a lot of characters on that show when you were in a lot of episodes. What was your favorite experience on that show, or your favorite line?
Oh man, dude, I'm 53, man. I can't remember. How that show came out like 7, 8, 9 years ago or something like that.
It's already 10 years old.
I can't remember 10 years ago, man. I'm done. See, you know what's funny? Here, I'll just tell you this. People are like, what's your favorite line, or what's your favorite, you guys watch it over and over and over and learn the lines, and then, people say to me, hey, my favorite line is this, and I'm like, okay. I don't remember. Dan Versus. God, I wish I could tell you I have an answer for you, but I really don't. What's your favorite line?
Well, there's a line, you played a police officer in the show, and there was a line where Dan was threatening the officer, and the officer leans over in the gun and he says, "Sir, do not threaten me, I have a gun."
I don't even remember the character. Oh my God. I wish I knew, man. Sir, what is it?
He's like, "Sir, do not threaten me."
Sir, do not threaten me. I have a gun. Was it that? Was it like that voice?
You sort of had like a nasally, snobby kind of voice.
Oh, okay. Sir, do not threaten me. I have a gun. Something like that?
Close enough. That sounds more like the character you played. You also played another character named Wally, who also turned out.
Jeez, this guy, dude, you're an encyclopedia. I gotta bring you on the road with me, bro. Oh my God. I don't even remember. Oh my God.
Brush up on your
I gotta brush up on my own stuff. Dude, I'm so sorry. I wish I could hook you up with the soundbite. I got nothing, man. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
All right. Dude, thank you for coming up and asking a question that I couldn't answer. I was stumped. I'm stumped. Oh, dude. Apologies. Thank you.
Hey, John.
Give him a round of applause for Toby stumped. He stumped it. He stumped on my booty right there. There he did it.
Hi, thank you so much for being here, first off.
Thank you for having
I've
me.
been a fan of yours for 2 decades at least. So, but I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. Yeah. So I wanted to spike in and give appreciation for, I mean, even Final Fantasy 12, Magello, I wish we had more time with that character. Do you remember?
Wait.
Final, like,
Because I remember, all right, I remember Waka.
yeah, I was gonna get to that, because that's my absolute favorite.
Hey, but you know, play a little blitzball, right? You know?
Magello was like, he was like a, I forget his race, but he was like a really, he was like, my boy, fine. He's like really happy to, like, nasally. It's fine. Anyway, let's just get to Waka and Kamari. I absolutely love that, like, performances in that game alone. Like, there's so much emotional, like, I don't know, it's just so strong and heartfelt, and I think that's in part to those performances that you and the cast gave. So thank you for that, because I feel like a lot of time Waka isn't mentioned on like the roster, or like even at this con. Like,
No.
that's my favorite of yours. So
What's cool is that the guy, Jack Fletcher, is the voice director on that, and he always knew how to get the best performances out of everybody and make it. He also helped with the translation as well, to you know, because we had to fit, you know, we had to do it dub, we had to dub it. So, you know, getting the right, you know, words in our mouth, literally, really helped with those performances and stuff like that. I'll tell you this though, on the new one, like it's like Final Fantasy X-2, like I don't even know that, like, they keep going back and forth with the numbers now, like the new one is 7. I'm like, what kind of numerical order is it? But there's the new one, I'm playing Heidegger.
Heidegger, yeah.
Or Heidegger, yeah, not Eric Heidegger. Sorry about that. That's not the right guy. Heidegger. And the funny thing is that Jack isn't voice directing it. We have another fine voice director, but I really have to stick closely to the sound quality of the Japanese actor that's doing it, which is what they want. You know, what they want. You know, in the direction we're getting. You know, from Tokyo, when we're doing it, you know, there's a guy up at 3 o'clock in the morning while we're at 3 in the afternoon here, and it's really funny because I have to like really. So it makes me sound like I'm, doing, some bad Japanese,
I think you sounded great.
Oh, you do? Thank you. See, all right, good.
But I have a question.
No, I thought I sounded just like I was just making fun of the Japanese guy.
No, not at all.
Oh, good. Oh.
So this is going all the way back to the era of Final Fantasy X. There was something else that came out at that time that I really loved, which was the Animatrix. And I found it interesting that the whole cast, seemingly in those 9 episodes, was the majority of the cast of Final Fantasy X. And
You know why?
What happened there? How
Jack
did that
Fletcher.
It was Jack Fletcher.
Same guy.
There it is.
Same guy did the same thing.
I always thought that was so neat because when I was watching, I was like, this is like in a way connecting both of my 2 favorite things right now, Final Fantasy and the Matrix.
You'd be surprised. A lot of this, a lot of directors like to work with the same actors. Much like in live action stuff. Yeah, and then Jack Fletcher. I swear, that's the connection.
Awesome.
All those dudes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hi, how you doing?
Doing great. First, love the documentary. I know that voice.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Grew up hearing it out voice actors and doing different things. That being said, I know you've been doing a bunch. Just a fun question. If you could have voiced a character from older shows like the 80s and stuff, is there a particular show that you would have liked to be part of?
I'd love to have voiced Hong Kong Phooey. No,
That might be before some of you were.
that was originally Scatman Crothers. who was just this unbelievable entertainer, just so well-rounded, so wonderful. You might remember him from The Shining. You got the shine, boy, you got the shine. That's Scatman Crothers, and he voiced, I mean, imagine that, and being in The Shining and being the voice of Hong Kong Phooey, that's like, that's a bridge right there. But I would have loved to have been Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy. That would have been awesome.
Morning.
How you doing?
My favorite.
Thanks.
Wanted to ask you, of all the stuff you've gotten to do in your career, whether it's voice acting or otherwise, what's your your favorite, best memory? Like, oh, I'd like it tomorrow.
You know what? I'll pick a new thing because I just finished in April. You'll see me on AMC in October in Interview with the Vampire. Anne Rice. AMC bought the rights to all of Anne Rice's stuff, and they're doing a limited series. And I got a couple episodes on that puppy, and it's a period piece in in the 1910s in New Orleans, and it's really, really cool. And I would love to revisit that again. That would be really a lot of fun.
Can you talk more about the character?
No.
No. Try.
No, it's all right. It's just like, what happens? You'll have to watch and find out. That's it. But no, it's like it's really cool. It's like to get on camera and do that kind of work again. It's like riding a bike. It's a lot of fun. And then I booked something else while I was doing that, and then that's going to be Perry Mason on HBO. I got a couple episodes of Perry Mason, which is just it's really cool because everybody's just like, oh, you're the voice guy, and it's like I'm trying to do everything I can. I mean, I'll give you an example because I did Better Call Saul in 2019, which was cool. People were like, oh, dude, I saw you're the construction crew foreman. You're like, oh my God, and it was great because I showed up, and Bob Odenkirk, who's a wonderful guy, his brother Bill was a writer on Futurama from the get-go, which is really cool. So I introduced myself to Bob. I said, Bob, how you doing? It's great to be here. And I just want to let you know I worked with Bill for many, many years. And he was like, oh, really? What? I was like, Futurama. He's like, oh my God, who are you? I was like, well, I put Bender, and he was just like, oh my God, Bender, oh man, that's fantastic. What a gig. What a gig. He's like, well, that's great. That's great. It's great to see you. Great to have you here. We're going to have a lot of fun. I was like, dude, I'm so thrilled. Well, the guys who were playing my construction crew, all these big, tough dudes, tattoos and shit. They hear I'm Bender. They freak out. These guys are like, dude, man, you're Bender? Oh, man. That's so cool, man. Oh my God, dude, I don't use my wife all the time. I turn these big badass dudes into little kids in a heartbeat. Is the funniest thing. That's the thing I always like to go back to. Because cartoons make people so happy. If you can get on a cartoon that entertains people from the age of 1 to 92, which it usually a lot of the stuff I do does, there's always something for somebody. That feeling is the role I like to portray when I meet someone or when talking about that thrills me. That's the thing I like to go back to because people just get such a kick out of it. And the energy and the emotion that people are, that's special to me. That's something that I enjoy again and again that I like to go back to. So I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, cheers. Great cosplay, loved it. Sorry.
So firstly, I just want to thank you for all the great characters you brought to life, and recently for really fighting for you and your colleagues' freedom. That's really great.
I'll tell you one about that. Quick side note. People are like, so glad you got more money. I didn't get more money.
Aw.
But what I did get was a lot of respect, and a lot of head nods from a lot of people that are like, yo, bro, I see you and thank you. So that to me is quite rewarding. You know, they were ready to move on. Hulu was ready to go. They were ready to be like, okay, well, that's it. We're gonna, and they were planning on using guest stars. They were gonna replace Bender's voice each episode with a thing. Hey man, they were gonna do it. They were willing to. That's it. Listen, it was David versus Goliath. Trying to get money out of Disney is like trying to get blood from a stone. You ain't gonna get it. So the fact that but listen, this was the best thing about that fight. I had Disney, Hulu. I was holding on to their collective testicles so hard that they couldn't. It was just there was nowhere for them to go, but there was also nowhere for me to go. And who wants to hold on to those for that long? So it was me and my agents sat down and just went, okay, do we want to be in the house having a nice Thanksgiving dinner, or do we want to be locked outside of it, standing across the street in the freezing rain, looking at everybody eat stuffing? So I had to say, all right, well, that's it, But just so you know, people who say, you make more money, time out. Still cutting coupons, everybody. It's all right. But go ahead. Here's your question. I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine. My question is, so when it came to schnitzel, when you were doing chowder, in the script, was there written out lines that you then had to go, or did they just give you a feeling or a vibe?
You know what was messed up? First of all, that should have been the easiest gig on the planet. It was a great gig, but what they would do, and those scripts were numbered. They weren't like Futurama, for example, has it's scripted like a sitcom. It's got all the stage directions in it and everything like that. For a lot of Cartoon Network stuff, they send you these huge storyboards that you have to match they give you a numbered script that you have to match the storyboards to. It's a lot of homework for no reason at all. It doesn't make any sense. It always has annoyed me. But they would have, whoever's line, Chowder's line, and then they would go to any of the other characters, and then they would go to me, and all it was rada 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 rada. So they didn't tell me what I was supposed to be saying. I had to just figure it out from context cues in the script. And then I would get, well, hold on a minute now, wait a minute, let's get, let's do it again. And it's just like, why are we doing it again if it doesn't make any difference why don't you tell me what he's saying, and then I'll just rada it, and it'll make much more sense. But no, they gave me all the radas and no context, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And then you're gonna make me do it again because I screwed it up, because you guys screwed it up in the first place? Oh my God, it was so... That's just counterproductive, man. It's such a bummer. But you know what, though? It was still a killer gig. It was still a lot of fun. Just to rada rada. Rada rada. Rada rada rada. Rada 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 rada. Rada 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 rada. It's just ridiculous. It's so much fun. Oh, you're welcome. How you doing?
Not too bad yourself.
All right.
So, I'm an 90s baby. I started watching Futurama when I was like 8 years old.
Making me feel ancient. Thank you.
And I've been through the ups and downs and all the cancellations and the network changes.
So have I.
My question is, what were your thoughts and feelings during these times, and when you guys had to go through all that?
The thing about show business is that all good things come to an end, and you get used to it. And, you know, you just have to learn to move on. It's just, you know, you just move on to the next thing. And it's magical when something comes back. You know, it's in Futurama, I mean, it's an exception to the rule. I mean, it just keeps on coming back and coming back and coming back. And I love it. But like, you know, yeah, when a show is over, it's just like, okay, that's it, let's move on. And you just audition for the next thing. And it's just, you know, it's a constantly rotating thing. 1 minute you're in the green room at Nickelodeon, kicking it, having sandwiches, and you know, the next week, you know, you're not allowed on campus because you're no longer an employee. You know, but that's it, but that's the way it goes. I mean, that's the story. You just have to, it's a numbers game when it boils down to it, and it's all business. And you just have to be seen. You just have to get out there. You just have to capitalize on what you've got at the time, and you know, and hopefully that carries you on to the next gig. Yeah, and you also have to learn how to take no for an answer and not take it personally, because that's all show business is. No.
Oh, I believe it.
Here's my best stuff. Thank you. No. Oh, okay. All right. Next thing. Here's my best stuff. Yeah. No. Okay. Cool. Next thing. Just it's constant over, and you have to learn how to not take it personally. And I'd say that to any actor that's starting out. But yeah, you have to learn how to just. A lot of people don't want you.
Well, I'll probably put some answer now, but I do have one diehard request as a fan.
Okay.
That is if you can tell me to bite my shiny metal ass.
Dude, bite my shiny metal ass, baby. Yeah, put the baby on the end there, a little bit of funk on it. Oh, yeah. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm all right.
All right, so recently a lot of my friends have been telling me that I should pursue further with, I do a lot of little voices and stuff, and they're like, you should pursue voice acting. So what is your best advice that you can give me starting out?
Best advice. First of all, there's a great website. My buddy D. Bradley Baker, who's a wonderful actor. I don't know if you know who he is. He's wonderful. It's called iwannabeavoiceactor.com. There's fantastic advice from D, who's one of the best in the business. Shameless plug. You could watch my documentary. I Know That Voice. There's a lot of good information in that as well. I tell actors, all you got to do is make rent. It doesn't matter how you make rent. You get a job, get a regular gig. Just make some money. Put some food on your table, pay the rent, and then work towards getting yourself a reel. And it doesn't have to be long, minute and a half tops, maybe even 60 seconds.
Like a voiceover?
Yeah, and you can do it, and you can make it on, if you have an Apple computer,
Yeah.
you can totally knock one out with GarageBand or
Yeah.
with your voice memos. Try and show your range, try and show different characters. Don't make it all one character. Make it
And
multiple characters.
no repeated characters.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
existing characters.
Yeah, and then make it short and sweet. People don't have the time nor the attention span to be there. Yeah, focus for 5 minutes on an audition. You don't want to do that.
Absolutely.
But those things, that's what I would check. I would start there.
All right.
And take acting classes.
Yes,
because
that's already on my list.
Okay, good. There you go. Well, you're
Yes.
already on your way.
Thank you so much.
I hope to see you in the booth someday.
All right.
Cheers.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
Doing great, good to see you
Alright.
here with us.
All right.
My question is, do you have any current roles coming up that you're very excited about? And what type of roles would you, as an actor, want to pursue in the future?
Well, I mean,
I do have a little show come out where I play a robot. Pretty excited about that.
I'm excited about Interview with the Vampire. I'm excited about Perry Mason. God, is there anything? Well, usually when you get something new, you can't talk about it. You know, but no, I'm really excited about Futurama, and yeah, I'd like to be able to do more stuff on camera, just because it's just really rewarding. You know, it's just and it's I love it. You know, I love all aspects of it. It just so happens that I'm more popular, if you will, as you know, doing voiceover stuff. So. Yeah, I'm game for anything. You know,
Forward to some actual on-screen.
yeah, you know, yeah, absolutely. I hope that, you know, certain casting directors are just like, oh man, we forgot about John. You know, let's get him in here. Let's see what's going on. But yeah, that's I'm very excited about Futurama and what, you know.
Yeah,
how
me too.
it works. Thanks.
Happy to see you back. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. How you doing?
So you had a character named Randy.
Randy on Futurama, yes.
My understanding was originally it was just a one-off background character.
You would be correct. Randy was originally drawn as an old man in the mob. I actually have the stencil, the pencil stencil of it that Bill Morrison drew. Bill Morrison at the beginning of Futurama drew a bunch of pencil sketches of the characters that we were all playing. And Randy was originally just, you know, old man in the mob. And when it came down to doing it, I was like, listen, if this is New York, and this is a mob in New York, there's always one guy in a group of people that are pissed off about something in New York. That sounds like this. Listen. Let me tell you something, mister. You're an asshole. So I went ahead and did it, and it wasn't, you know, it was just a one-off thing. The robot has to go, you know, just that whole, and he just blossomed into like this character that would just come out of nowhere and just, you know, start saying ridiculous things. But he turned into this great character that we could, you know, have these wonderful jokes, like, you know, just like, Calculon's back, you know, just ridiculous. I love Randy. Randy's awesome. Randy's great, you know, and yeah, you know, and listen, the other thing is, I mean, it's, you know, let's be real. It's New York City. You've got to have members of the LGBTQ community in New York City, especially, you know, in the future. So, you know, that was another thing that was a plus for that, you know. And then he's Randy. So silly. Oh my God. I'll tell you a funny story. I was walking down the street in New York, and I heard this voice. Randy has that kind of voice. When you hear it, you go, that's Randy. Well, there's another guy that has that kind of a voice. When you hear it, you're like, oh my God, that's him. I was walking down the street, you know, and I hear this guy, and he's talking like this. And I was like, oh my God, that's the lead singer from the B-52s. Oh my God, that's him. Sure enough. Schneider? What?
Fred Schneider.
Yeah, Fred Schneider. Thank you. Sure enough, Fred Schneider. Fred Schneider's walking down the street. And it was just like, oh my God, this dude. Rock Lobster. Oh my God. There he is. You know? It was a giant clown. I'm just like, oh yeah, dude. So awesome. So excited. But yeah, there you go. I mean, that's Randy. Randy's just, I love Randy. I love Randy. Thank you for the question. I appreciate it, brother.
Good morning.
Hi.
So, my question, because you voiced Jake from Adventure Time for so long, how did it feel to voice him Major League for the last time in Adventure Time and Distant Lands together again?
You know, it was Distant Lands was kind of cool. The thing that it's always nice to revisit a character. But I mean, and revisiting him in Distant Lands was totally fine. There wasn't anything too emotional about it. It's nice to go back and do it. But the last episode of the series murdered me. That Rebecca Sugar song. I don't know if you've seen it. Seen me crying at Comic-Con San Diego. You ever see that one? That's embarrassing. That song, and I couldn't get through the song recording it. You know, You and I Will Always Be Back Then. Like, I was a mess. Like, I couldn't do it. Hinden Walsh couldn't do it without crying. Like, we were all a mess. We were all a mess. And it was funny too, because like I tried to quit the show in the beginning because it was weird and like it was just like, I don't understand this. This gig is taken, you know, it's another numbered script where there's no stage direction. This land of ooh, what the hell is this land of ooh? Like, why does the dog stretch? What is going on? And it would, you know, we'd be in the studio for 4.5, 5 hours. You're only supposed to be there for 4, and should have been done in an hour. And I was just frustrated. And it wasn't necessarily the material, but it just wasn't running right. The show wasn't running right, and I felt it, and I knew it because I'd been on successful shows that ran like clockwork, and this was not doing it. And I told my agent, I was like, I'm not sure I want to do this anymore. And the head of, vice president of development at Cartoon Network had me and my agent come and we sat down. Back when you could go to an office, you know. And he was just like, trust me, man, this is gonna be a really big deal. And we really want you to do this. Please, we'll figure it out. We'll address some of these problems. And they did. And then, like, you know, a year and a half later, Jake's on a bullet train in Korea, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. It's a massive juggernaut that you just need to, yeah. And it got better, and by the end of the series, I mean, I was crying in the car on the way home after the session, and I called my wife. I was just like, I really didn't realize how connected I was to Jake. And yeah, so that was when I got emotional. When he came back, I was like, hell yeah, check. Yeah, check. Give me the check. I love it. Love this guy. This dog is awesome. I'm getting paid again. Yeah. But, you know, it's a wonderful relationship that Jake has with Finn. And that, and the, you know, the more that's developed, the better it's gotten, and the more magical it is. So, there you go. I hope that answered your question. I'm in it for the money, man.
Hi, John.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you. So, I tend to binge watch a lot on Netflix, and Disenchanted and Inside Job are two of my favorite jobs.
Inside Job is a lot. Have you guys seen Inside Job?
Yeah.
Funny show. Really, really funny show. I play the half man, half dolphin. It's ridiculous.
I was gonna say Inside Job really got my attention just because of all your funny one-liners.
Yeah, no, he's a guy, and he's a man that the government has turned into a mutant for government purposes.
And it's just, it's really, really quite ridiculous. But Disenchantment, that was a lot. That show is, I love that show. It's a lot of fun. Playing King Zog is a blast. I love it. I love
all
it.
your little homages to Bender and Zog too, just like, let's go already.
Oh yeah, sure. No, and Bite My Shiny Metal Axe. That was a good one. I'm wearing that T-shirt tomorrow. I'll tell you though, the fun thing about Disenchantment, when I auditioned for it, you know, it's a king. I'm thinking, all right, I'll do some sort of kingly voice. Yes, I'll do this. King Zog. Yes, he said, ooh, I'll do. Yes, I'm King Zog, and blah blah blah. I get the job, and I go into the table read, and my agents like Matt and Josh Weinstein, the co-executive producer of the show, writer for The Simpsons, writer for Futurama. They want to talk to you before you do the table read. And the table read, you know, you just sit down, you read the script, you know, in front of all the executives, the writers, you know, the guests, and whatever. And they pull me aside, and Matt says, "Just do red." I said, "Okay, perfect." Now, red is a character from this thing called the Tube Bar tapes. The Tube Bar tapes basically are what Bart and Mo, you know, the phone calls that they have when he's pranking the bar. Now, the Tube Bar tapes are actual tape that kind of came out when the Jerky Boys came out. This band played this bar in Jersey City called the Tube Bar, and they didn't get paid. So in retaliation, they prank called this guy for a year. Wow. They called the bar, and they recorded every single one of them. Now, the guy they would talk to, the owner of the bar, was this guy named Red. He was an ex-boxer. He was an old guy. And he would answer the phone. "Hello? Yeah, can I talk to Sal, please?" "You want to talk to a man by the name of Sal?" "Yeah, Sal Andy?" "Sal Andy?" "Yeah." "Sal Andy! Sal Andy here!" And they did all these Bill Loney, stupid, and his reactions, because I can't repeat them because there might be children in the room. So filthy, so terrible, like unbelievably. And that was the guy that he wanted me to do. He wanted me to do red. So that's where the voice of King Zog is from Red, based on a guy in Jersey City, for crying out loud. You know, they want to do like Simpsons meets Game of Thrones, and they throw a guy in from Jersey City, and they're like, it's crazy. But that is Red. That is Red. That is King Zog. I just realized I didn't let you ask your question. I just went on a total rant. What was your question, brother?
My question was, what was your favorite one-liner from Inside Job? Just because, like, I love it all.
Oh, Inside Job. This just, God, what was the? There, you know what? There were a lot of ones that didn't make it, but like, wait a minute.
Because the lizard port was my favorite.
Oh,
the fifth and the second, you just pull out that gun.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's just like, he's this totally like, oh God. All of them are my favorite. That's the cheapest way to get out of a question because you can't remember a quote. They're all my favorite.
No, I kind of figured too.
I can't, yeah, no, I mean, you just go in and you just do it once, and I haven't seen the whole series all the way through. I've only seen a couple of them, and I've seen stuff in post. There's one where there's that big monster in the middle. Maybe that hasn't aired. See, that's the other thing. I can't talk about the show because like I'm worried I'm gonna spoil it. What's your favorite?
I think my favorite one is when you're on the cruise ship and you're just like, I can't swim too long. You're like, see SEAL Team 6 go, and you just reach like a dolphin. And you just get the seals to carry.
SEAL Team 6 go! Something like that. Yeah, sure. I think I remember that one. They the poor guy stand there for a story 20 minutes long. He's like, I want to ask one question about Inside Job. Thanks. Hi.
Hi. One of my favorite games of all time was Halo 2, and you came back on the remaster for that game. I was just wondering what it was like to play a character like the Heretic Leader, where it's pretty much just non-stop brooding the whole time.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you play a character in a game and you have like a few lines, but then all the rest of it is just efforts. You know, screaming, you're dying, you know, a lot of dying, lot of dying. And so, yeah, but you know, listen, to be part of a big franchise like that is always cool, you know. I mean, you know, Halo was up against Gears of War at the time, so it was nice to be in both of them, which was kind of cool, you know, just be like, I'm rooting for myself. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, Halo 2, very cool.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, what's going on, what's up? Hi, girl, what's up, man?
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
My question is, what is a project of yours that you wish more people knew about?
Here, I'll answer it.
Hello? Who's this? Got any booze?
I wish a lot more people knew about my documentary. Still available on Amazon and iTunes. Gosh, what's another one? I don't know. I don't know if it's like. I really wish that we could have done a lot more Penguins of Madagascar. That show was really, really, really funny, and there was a lot of adult humor in it that went right over the kids' heads. And it wasn't like dirty humor, but there were a lot of adult jokes that were just like Rico singing like Michael McDonald. Yeah, the long hair got it. Perfect. I love it. No, like because we were always joking around doing Michael McDonald in the studio in between takes. And there was a point where Rico had to sing to his dolly, and I was like, guys, would it be all right if Rico sounded like Michael McDonald when he sang? And they were like, okay. And this is a character, I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, who see, that's how he talked. So to have him just all of a sudden be like, oh, baby, it was all gibberish, it didn't matter anyway. But just to have him sound like that was just like this fun thing, and those guys actually were also the creators of Kim Possible, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary next week, which is
my God.
I was like, oh. Rather rich and okay. But I love it. It's not, I don't know if it's something I want people to know more about. I think I want to do more of the show, so that way more people find out about it. You know what I mean? But those two shows were really funny. And, Will Friedle, guy from Boy Meets World, Will Friedle, unbelievable. He was so funny as Ron Stoppable. We laughed so hard all the time in those sessions. Because a lot of times it's just me and him doing stuff. And we would laugh constantly. So I miss that. Like but to answer your question, I'd rather go back, bring stuff back up, new episodes, people go, oh my God, this is great. And then have this, library of stuff to catch up on, So.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Hi. So I know you've established that your long-term memory might not be the best. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, you didn't mean it. You meant it, but you didn't really mean it. It's garbage. It's okay, I get you. Go ahead.
So, my question is then, over the years, have you found yourself taking on any mannerisms of any of the characters you've played, maybe some of the longer ones?
Well, I mean, come on. Bender, for crying out loud. There's moments where I shouldn't have had that last drink, you know what I mean? And then, listen, it's funny, my wife's like, you're only allowed to have 2 martinis. I'm like, okay. Because, martinis are like tits. 3 of them is too many. So you have to, sorry kids. Everybody else is laughing, so you'll get it a couple years down the road. It's fine. Just watch that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and you'll really laugh. But yeah, it's now I forgot the question that I just wanted to think.
It was just if you found yourself taking on any.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Bender. Yeah, there's too much. Yeah, definitely the excess of Bender. Yeah. There's a reason they wrote that. Bender turns human episode. Because sometimes I would come in and record stuff and be like, "How you guys doing? I was out last night. We're gonna have a good day today." But yeah, I mean that's any bad habits, blame the robot.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
We have about 5 minutes, so we'll see what we get through.
All right.
Okay, so I know that I'm pretty sure that you think Zog and Bender are amazing characters, but would you like them as people or as robots? Like, do you like them as like personality?
I think Bender as a human is wrong, as a robot is right. I think Zog as a human is totally right. Him as a robot, he'd kill everybody and take over the world. That'd be terrible. Zog as a robot, he'd be like, "Oh, wait, oh, you can't stab me? I'm not stabbable? Oh, this is gonna be great. Everybody line up. I'm walking over here." Yeah. So yeah. That they're definitely who they are, who they should be. So yeah. No, Zog is a robot, but no, the end of the world. All right. How you doing?
I'm doing good, how are you?
All right. What's your question?
So I was watching some of the animated Batman movies a while
Yes.
ago, and I noticed that you were Joker in
Under the Red Hood. Yes, my friend. That was a lot of fun.
and I noticed that Joker sounded a lot like Bender. Was that kind of like the sound?
Really, did he sound like Bender? How did he sound like Bender? Well, we're the same guy, for Christ's sake. That's why if you're just like, no. There's no way the Joker sounded anything like this. It wouldn't have worked. I don't think, wow. I don't know, maybe you have a super ear. Maybe you have do you have a bionic ear? Are you like Jamie Summers, the Bionic Woman? Remember the Bionic Woman? Kind of. Uh-oh, she's listening to something. Half the room is just like, I don't know. No, it's totally the age thing. No, she's it's the age thing. No, Jamie Summers. So you don't have a bionic ear. Yeah, maybe you do. I don't know. I really never thought that Joker sounded anything like Bender. I'm gonna have to rewatch it now and just be like, are there any moments? You really think that it sounded like Bender?
Yeah, there were a few moments like when
Shit. This kid is I gotta work harder. All right, critique taken, done. I can't answer anymore here. But done. All right, whatever, dude. You're a good guy. You're all right. You're a good guy. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. Hi.
I would just like to say Adventure Time is my favorite show of all time.
Thank you.
I was just curious if there was a plot point in the show that was shocking for you to learn about while you were doing the show.
I don't know if there's a plot point that was shocking to me. Well, the lick was, I mean, the lich, L-I-C-H. I know how to spell it. That freaked me out. That was always freaky. When it got really dark, when it was just like, yeah, we're gonna make bacon pancakes and death. Yeah, the really dark stuff was always just kind of freaky. That kind of freaked me out. Just the apocalyptic nature of the world itself was always, shocking to me. But I always loved the line in that episode with Jake and his kids, and the wolf is reading the book and says, "Hey, it says here that we can eat babies." That always made me laugh my ass off. Just to read itself, But just that line, like, why would you put that in a cartoon? Oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah, sure, you definitely have to put that in this cartoon. Okay, great. But yeah, so there was always stuff that shocked me. Yeah, freaky stuff.
Great, we have time for one more question.
Uh-oh. You're the last in line. Better be good, man. Don't screw it up.
By the way, your joke is underrated.
Oh, thank you very much. See, you think it's underrated. Where's that guy? I'm gonna tell him. Even yeah, there you are. Yeah, Mark Campbell likes it too. So. Oh my God, John, your Joker is unbelievable. Oh my God, it's so creepy and wonderful. I love it, John. I love it. Anyway, go ahead.
So I want to ask if you've done both voice acting and on-camera roles. What's it like being directed, like as a voice actor and as a regular actor, and working with actors like on sets?
Well, it's just listen. When you're doing stuff on camera, you know, there's so much time in between things. They have to set things up, set up a shot. That you know, there's a lot of rushing to wait. But the thing that's about voiceover is that you can make an immediate change, and you can do it a couple of different ways. You know, so that they have it in the can, so that once they're editing and they decide which direction that they want it to go in, they can do that. So that's a big difference. Being off book and memorizing lines is a whole other beast that, it's like riding a bike, but it's also just like, they're spending $1 million a day here. Okay, gonna get this line right. The crew wants to go home. Yeah, there's a lot of that. So that pressure put on you, if you allow it to rest in the back of your mind, that's crazy. That's a big difference. But yeah, it's mostly about the amount of time you have and the amount of responsibility that you have within that session or that day. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
It's a great last one.
That was a good one. So we're wrapped. Now we're done.
I gotta get you back to your table and you're all set.
I thought I was going to lunch. Man, I want a sando.
You see all these people, they need to come see you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. But listen, I just want to say thank you so very much, all of you, for coming today. I really, really appreciate it. The love you're going to show me, I right back at you. For real, I really appreciate it. Come on by the booth, sign stuff, say hello, whatever. I'll be here tomorrow too. Thank you so much, you guys. The best.